schools in Memphis that had been closed to little boys and girls that looked like them. They didn't know that when they were making history, that they were making history. They didn't know then that they would change the city of Memphis and the Memphis city schools forever. University of Memphis Law School professor Daniel Kyle has spent years collecting stories about the desegregation of the Memphis city schools. The professor's work centers on educational disparities, particularly along lines of race. The Memphis 13 and his oral history project turned documentary to share the stories of the first students to desegregate public schools in Memphis. Check it out.
When you have a child, you don't want to see your child going way across town, walking when there's a school right around the corner.
All our parents want us to do is go to a school in the neighborhood. We had to go 13 blocks. I mean, Gordon was 2 blocks from our house.
You do have some thoughts about it, you know, about her safety. Back long before then, lots of black folks didn't even have a chance at anything.
Yeah, the first day when we got ready to go to school, that morning, we had police escort. We walked to school, and it was kind of exciting, but it was kind of scary.
First day was really nervous, and but by the end of the day, it was overwhelming.
The books was crispy new. There was a difference at first. It was like, you would wake up in the morning and you would dread going to school, and you're alone. You're kind of always alone.
Bruce, it just was, you know, such a stark contrast. It's like being on the defensive, being at war emotionally for, you know, for quite a few years, quite frankly. But that first year was just, I know I cried a lot. It was just hard. I learned to hate school. It was just hard. I hate going to school.
You be the first somebody to start something, you're gonna be the first one to get hit. You know what I mean? You know, and to be a 6-year-old to get hit, oh, it really hurts. You know, it hurts to get a shot at 6.
At one point I was like, I don't know, I kind of thought you and Mom might have been mad at me for sending me to that school. Like, did I do something wrong? Why did I have to go to that school?
Yeah, I'll be honest with you, I was scared. And those days I didn't want to go, you know. But then, you know, my mom was backbone. You had to go. You go get your education. You can be anything you want to be.
It was fun in a way, and then it was hurtful in a way. But I'm just glad I was able to do something to help my race and my people out.
And it just made you think that, you know, why wasn't it like this all the time? You know, why did it have to be a black school and a white school and this and that, you know, just seemed like shit had been like this all the time. And like I said, I was glad I was on the first 13. To me, it did make you grow up to be a better person.
Ladies and gentlemen, Daniel Keel.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I'm going to ask you to go inward for a moment. Close your eyes. Really, do it. Okay, now search your memory for that place where you can recall being in first grade, being 5 or 6 years old. What kinds of things were you thinking about? What was your school like? If you can, imagine that you're a parent sending your own child off to first grade. This is your baby. being sent off into the world alone. Okay, now those of you who actually closed your eyes, open your eyes. If you're like me, you can only recall flashes of memories from first grade. Maybe you can recall the kindness of a teacher or a friend, or the way a classroom was set up. Maybe you can remember that worry about being in a big, new place, that jarring realization that there would be times that you would be out on your own. Now imagine that in addition to all of those regular first grades kind of things to think about and even worry about, you were asked to be on the front lines of a social movement that would change your community, change your country even. Civil rights movements require not only the passionate and inspiring leaders that we know so well, but also the foot soldiers who give life and strength to a movement's push forward. Foot soldiers who are no less passionate and should be no less inspiring. 55 years ago, 13 children in our community were asked to enter first grade classrooms in which they were the only black students. They were asked to give life and strength to a movement they could hardly have understood. Their parents offered them up as soldiers to the movement. 13 foot soldiers who have carried with them in that half century, in their own hearts, in their own memories, the memories of that experience. Foot soldiers who can feel both pride at the role they played and pain that at such a tender age they were forced into bearing a burden in a struggle our country has contended with from its very inception and continues to grapple with today. Here with us tonight, members of the Memphis 13, Sharon Malone, Sheila Malone Conway, Menelik Fambi, Alvin Freeman, Harry Williams, Jacqueline Christian, Joyce White, Pamela Evans, and Dewana Kiles. It is my privilege and honor to present those foot soldiers, the Memphis 13.
Good evening. Good evening. On behalf of the Memphis 13, we'd like to take this opportunity to first and foremost acknowledge our Creator, the veritable love, energy, and source to which we are all connected and able to be present here tonight. It is with glad hearts that we accept and acknowledge the Civil Rights Museum for honoring our indelible efforts as the smallest pioneers of the civil rights movement by inviting us to share in this evening of celebration with the other distinguished guests and all of you. The Memphis 13 is forever indebted to the National Civil Rights Museum for their dedicated and unrelenting work in preserving with honor and integrity the legacy of our history in this prodigious city. Our spirits are lifted and our hearts enlightened by the recognition this great city and its residents continue to bestow upon us, thanks to the curiosity of Daniel Keel, professor of law at the University of Memphis, who in 2011, via an oral history project on school desegregation in Memphis, conceived and directed the eye-opening documentary, The Memphis 13, sharing the personal stories of the first students to desegregate the city's public schools in 1961. However, the undeniable heroes tonight
are our vigilant parents whose luminous and fearless vision assisted in deliberately altering the status quo of a city trapped in the shackles of the Jim Crow era only 55 years ago. So it is with a great sense of pride and humility that we accept this honor on their behalf. In closing, there are two short quotes. One from the late, great Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Everybody can be great because anybody can serve. You don't have to have a college degree to serve. You don't have to make your subject and verb agree to serve. You only need a heart full of grace, a soul generated by love. And my last quote from my own personal hero and my late father, the Reverend Samuel Billy Kiles, who was always a great champion of the national civil rights